Here we have a word problem dealing with the angles inside of a triangle. It says one angle in a triangle is 13 degrees more than whatever the smallest angle is, and the other angle is 23 degrees more than whatever the smallest angle is. They want us to find all three angles. And the thing that this problem is hinging on is the fact that the sum of all three angles in any triangle, doesn't matter if it's a right triangle or isosceles or acute or obtuse, it doesn't matter, any triangle, the sum of the three angles is 180 degrees. So that's a fact that you need to know. All right, so knowing that, understanding that, then step one would be to write anything that's changing in terms of a variable, or unknown rather, in terms of a variable. So it looks like the first, the second, and the third angle are all written in terms of the smallest guy. So let's do this. On the next page, let's write these as angles. We'll call it angles A, B, and C, for example. Okay, angle A, here's angle B, and here's angle C. Angle A, I don't know what angle A is, so we'll identify this with the variable x. So this will be maybe our smallest angle, right? Because A, B, and C, they're arbitrary angles, so we'll label x as the smallest. And then we know that the other angle, or one of the other angles, is 13 degrees more than the smallest guy. So we'll call angle B x plus 13. That's 13 more than the smallest guy. And then the other angle, the third angle, was 23 degrees more than the smallest guy. So we'd have x plus 23. And so we could have just left these as variables, either A, B, or C, or X, Y, and Z, or whatever, but it's always preferable, if this is possible, to write all of your unknowns in terms of a single quantity. That's always best, because that's going to make it easier to solve the equation here in just a minute. All right, so that brings up step two. How do we take these unknowns and translate this word problem into an equation? Well, again, here's what we're going to rely on. We're going to rely on the fact that the sum of these three angles adds up to 180. So what I know is that x plus the middle angle, x plus 13, plus the largest angle, x plus 23, the sum of all these, I don't know what any of the three are, but I know that the sum of those three would be 180, right? Because the sum of any three angles in a triangle, or the sum of the three angles in any triangle, would be 180 degrees. So what we've done is we've taken the word problem, we've written it as an equation, and it's downhill from here. Let's just solve this like a traditional linear equation. We'll simplify both sides, combine like terms. We'll have 3x's plus 36 equals 180. Then we'll move the variables to one side and the constants to the other. So we'll have 3x, and then we'll subtract 36 from both sides. So we'll have 3x equals, let's see here, and then we'll have, 144 on the right-hand side. Divide by the variable's coefficient of 3, and the 3's will cancel, and we'll get x equals 144 divided by 3 is 48, and that'll be degrees, 48 degrees. So now we don't go on to the next problem. Even though we got an answer, we're not done yet. We have to make sure that we answer the question that they asked. They wanted us, our directions were to find all three angles, not just one angle. So who was x? Which angle was x? Well, x was the smallest guy, and so from here we should be able to find the other two. So here we can make a list of our three angles. We have angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. The smallest angle is 48 degrees. So how do I get the middle angle? If 48 is the smallest, the middle, if you recall, was 13 degrees more than that. So that would put us at 61 degrees. That's 48 plus 13. And then the largest angle was 23 degrees more than the smallest angle. 23 plus 48 would put us at 71 degrees. So you can double check this. I'm not going to, but you could add up these three just to verify that you really get 180, and you do. And we should also probably double check that the middle angle really is 13 degrees more than 48, which it is. And the largest angle was 23 degrees more than the smallest angle. So anyway, just to recap just the general process for these problems, you take your word problem, you identify your unknowns, you try to write all of your unknowns in one variable if it's possible. Then you take these unknowns and you try to make an equation out of it that represents the problem that's being phrased in your word problem here. And then once you have the word problem expressed as an equation, it's really downhill from there. You solve the equation, then the only other thing you have to be careful about is answering the question that's being asked appropriately.